Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we're going to take a look at another horrible case with you. It is often said that the world remembers true love for years, but the love story we're telling you about today wasn't true love story, yet the world still remembers it. The reason for remembering this love story was its horrifying nature. This is the story of Shabnam and Salim, who chose a terrifying path to embrace their love, a tale that still sends shivers down people's spines. To know the full story of Shabnam and Salim, stay tuned till the end of this video. Believe me, you'll be in shock after knowing the entire story. This incident shook the entire Uttar Pradesh government for a few days. Find out all the details in this video, but before moving forward, make sure to subscribe to the David True Crime channel and hit the bell icon. Let's start the story now. This story is from the village of Bavankedi in Amroha, Uttar Pradesh, during the night of April 14th, 2008. A strange silence had spread all around. Most people in the neighborhood were asleep in deep slumber. Amidst this silence, around 2 a.m., some people heard the loud screams of a girl. Upon hearing the noise, people initially thought it might be their imagination. However, when they paid attention to the sound, they realized that the noise was coming from the house of the wealthiest person in the village, Shaukat Ali. Shaukat Ali was a lecturer in the college, and his house was the most luxurious in the village. When people heard the sound coming from Shaukat Ali's house, they hurried towards it. As they approached the house, they discovered that Shaukat Ali's daughter, Shabnam Ali, was screaming uncontrollably. People couldn't understand what had happened, so some decided to go inside the house to investigate. As soon as they entered, Shabnam, with tears in her eyes, gestured towards her father's room. When people entered the room, they saw Shaukat Ali lying on his bed soaked in blood. Subsequently, they went to other parts of the house, and the same scene awaited them there. Each individual in the house was found dead in their respective places. That night, there were 8 people in the house, and 7 had lost their lives. Among the deceased were 55-year-old Shaukat Ali, Hashmi, the 50-year-old mother of Shabnam, Shabnam's elder brother Anish, Shabnam's younger brother Rashid, Shabnam's sister-in-law Anjum, Shabnam's maternal sister Rabia, and 10-month-old nephew Arsh. Looking at the scene, no one could comprehend anything. The question lingering in everyone's mind was, who did it? The only surviving member in the house who could possibly answer that question was Shabnam, the lone living child. However, Shabnam's condition was so critical that she was not in a state to say anything. People were understanding Shabnam's grief because she lost all 7 family members in a moment. Everyone was engaged in consoling Shabnam. When it was noticed that all 7 had lost their lives, local police were informed in the darkness of the night. The news of the simultaneous death of 7 people created a sensation in the entire police department. The news was so significant that it reached the state and central governments overnight. As soon as the news came, the local police station team was the first to arrive at the scene. Recognizing the seriousness of the case, an immediate demand for additional police force was made. Now, the situation became so intense that before sunrise, the police force from surrounding police stations was deployed in the Bawankeri village. Additionally, a forensic team took control of the house and started the investigation. In the initial investigation, when people tried to understand the entire case from Shabnam, she mentioned that she was sleeping on the roof of her house. Suddenly, she heard some suspicious noises. Upon going downstairs, she saw people carrying axes and fleeing. According to Shabnam, they might be robbers who had forcibly entered the house with the intention of looting. After Shabnam's statement, news spread across the city that dacoits had murdered people during a robbery attempt at Shaukat Ali's house. At the time of the incident, Mayawati was the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh. Upon learning about the event, Mayawati immediately announced a compensation of 5 lakh rupees to Shabnam, the lone surviving in the family. Additionally, it was declared that no perpetrator involved in this incident would be pardoned. Despite Mayawati's statement, the uproar doesn't subside. Instead, opposition parties surround Mayawati, turning it into a law and order issue. Under Understanding the gravity of the situation, Mayawati herself cannot be stopped from visiting the incident site the next day via helicopter. Upon arrival, she assures Shabnam that strict punishment will be given to the culprits. Mayawati had already announced a compensation of Rs 500,000 for Shabnam, and she intends to fulfill it here. However, an officer investigating the incident requests Mayawati to wait for post-mortem reports of all deceased before compensating Shabnam. Following this, Inspector R.P. Gupta initiates the investigation. After thoroughly examining the crime scene, Inspector R.P. Gupta begins questioning Shabnam about the incident. After a brief interrogation, R.P. Gupta raises the question of how Shabnam survived when everyone else in the house perished. Shabnam explains that she was on the roof, which is why she survived, but the officials are not satisfied with this response. The absence of any signs of struggle on the bed also raises suspicions in the minds of the authorities regarding Shabnam. Nevertheless, the case was so sensitive that they deemed it unnecessary to say anything against Shabnam at that moment and continued their investigation. Initially, all the bodies are sent to the local hospital for post-mortem, where a team of expert doctors conducts post-mortems on all the bodies. According to the post-mortem report, no person who died had engaged in any form of struggle, indicating that everyone was either sleeping or unconscious before the attack on the neck occurred. To confirm whether these people were indeed unconscious, samples are sent for further examination. The biopsy report arrives soon and is startling because traces of poison are found in the bodies of the deceased. The presence of poison residues in the body suggests that they were poisoned before being brutally murdered. But who did this? The precise answer to this question could have been crucial. Shabnam, the sole survivor in the house, could have been questioned immediately, but that might have complicated the situation. Therefore, the police proceed cautiously with their investigation and first retrieve Shabnam's call records. The call records reveal another shocking revelation. According to the call records, Shabnam made 52 calls to a number on the night of the incident. When the police investigate that second number, it turns out to be a person using the name Salim. The search for Salim has begun, and an inquiry with Shabnam has also commenced. In the initial investigation, Shabnam claimed that someone entered the house through the roof and murdered all the family members. However, this statement proved false as it was discovered that the door leading to the stairs was closed from the inside. The height from the roof to the ground was 14 feet, and the wall was fully plastered. Additionally, climbing 14 feet without stairs was deemed impossible. Some suspected that the criminals might have used an external staircase to enter the roof, but after a brief examination, this claim was dismissed due to the lack of evidence for such stairs. Through the ongoing investigation, it became clear that Shabnam's every assertion was turning out to be false. While the police could have immediately confronted Shabnam forcefully, they refrained from taking any action until gathering sufficient evidence, recognizing the seriousness of the case. The police investigation was underway when a reporter informed the police that if you want to know the truth of this case, pick up Salim. Everything will become clear. Salim's name first came up in this matter when the police obtained Shabnam's call details. This was the second occasion when someone mentioned Salim's name. Hence, an inquiry into Salim began. Salim was questioned the next day of the incident, but due to lack of suspicious evidence, he was let go. However, when a reporter and call details provided some clues, Salim was called in for questioning again on April 17th. This time, as Salim continued with his inconsistent story, the police exerted pressure and Salim's condition started deteriorating. Eventually, he reveals a truth that shocks everyone. Salim confesses to committing all the murders. As evidence, Salim hands a hatchet to the police, the same tool he used to carry out these killings. When asked why he did it, Salim explains that he did everything based on Shabnam's instructions. Upon hearing Shabnam's name again, she is summoned for questioning once more. When the police informed Shabnam about Salim's claims, she started saying that she didn't know Salim and hadn't asked him to do anything. In response, the police questioned Shabnam based on call records, asking why she had called Salim's number so many times on the night of the incident if she didn't know him. Shabnam had no precise answer to this question. She was still not willing to admit anything. Due to this, the police decided to confront Shabnam and Salim face to face. Here, Shabnam continues with a different story, to which Salim tells her that he has already disclosed everything to the police. It's better if you confess everything too. Hearing this, Shabnam suddenly bursts into tears, and finally, she accepts the truth that sends shivers down spine. For hours, Shabnam is interrogated, and then the police provide complete information about the incident. According to the police, the murder of 7 people was the result of Shabnam and Salim's love. The whole story unfolded in a way that Shabnam was the daughter of the wealthiest family in the village. Shabnam's father, Shaukat Ali, was a lecturer at the college. Shabnam's brother, having completed his engineering studies, was working in a good company, while the younger brother, having completed his MBA, was employed. Shabnam herself had completed a double MA in English and Geography. At the time of the incident, Shabnam was working as an educator in a school. Just outside Shabnam's house, there was a sawmill, and Salim used to work there. Whenever Shabnam went out, her gaze often fell on Salim. Coming and going daily, Shabnam starts liking Salim, and gradually, she falls in love with him. When the opportunity arises, one day she confesses her love to Salim, and Salim also reveals that he likes her too. Over time, Shabnam and Salim have come to love each other deeply. They begin to contemplate marriage, but face various societal barriers. On one side, Shabnam's family was the most respected and educated in the area. Shabnam herself had earned a double Master of Arts, while Salim worked as a laborer. Despite this, Shabnam decides to talk to her father, expressing her love for Salim and her determination to marry him. Her family is initially shocked, but starts to advise Shabnam that it will not happen. However, Shabnam remains steadfast in her decision to marry Salim. For several days, this game of stubbornness continues, and in the end, when Shabnam feels that her family won't arrange her marriage with Salim, she meets Salim and plans that if they kill all family members, then they can get married, and her father's entire property will be theirs. After finalizing the plan, Salim buys poison from the market and gives it to Shabnam. Later, Shabnam searches for the right moment. On April 14, 2008, with both her brothers out of the house, Shabnam lovingly advises them not to go out today, but have dinner together at night. Since the sister had called them with affection, both brothers don't refuse and return home. At night, Shabnam cooks dinner with her beloved sister Rabia and lovingly serves everyone. After eating, everyone sits down. That's when Shabnam asks, "Who wants tea?" Upon hearing the name of tea, everyone joyfully says, "We all will have tea." After hearing this, Shabnam goes to the kitchen and starts making tea. After preparing the tea quietly, she adds the poison given by Salim a few days ago and serves it to all the family members. After having tea, everyone's health starts deteriorating and they all go to their rooms to sleep. Due to the effects of the poison, everyone becomes completely silent. It seems everyone might have died. However, Shabnam is not troubled, and she immediately calls her boyfriend Salim and says, "Finish them off with an axe so that it looks like a robbery." After Shabnam's statement, Shabnam and Salim, one after another, end the lives of everyone by attacking their throats with an axe. After putting 6 people to eternal rest, Salim quietly leaves Shabnam's house. Just a few minutes after Salim departed, Shabnam calls him again, revealing that her nephew Arsh is still alive, only 10 months old. Salim refuses to return, insisting that she should handle it herself. Shabnam disconnects the call, presses her nephew's throat with her hands, and succumbs to death as well. Following Shabnam's confession, Shabnam and Salim are officially arrested. A case, including charges of murder, is filed against both. The trial begins in the district court, and after a lengthy proceeding, Shabnam and Salim receive the death penalty. They appeal to the Allahabad High Court, but they face the same fate of hanging. Failing to secure relief from the Allahabad High Court, they appeal to the Supreme Court, which upholds the lower court's decision. When Shabnam and Salim find no relief from the courts, Shabnam files a mercy petition from the president to the governor of Uttar Pradesh. However, Shabnam doesn't receive relief from anywhere. After all mercy petitions were rejected in 2021, it seemed that Shabnam would become the first woman in the history of independent India to face the death penalty, as preparations for her execution in jail had begun. But then, once again, Shabnam, pleading for mercy, filed a petition in front of the governor of Uttar Pradesh. The governor transferred it to the Uttar Pradesh government. So far, there has been no decision from the government on Shabnam's petition. As a result, Shabnam is still awaiting the death penalty in Rampur jail today. Meanwhile, Shabnam's lover Salim is serving his sentence in Naini jail, Prayagraj. In this entire matter, another revelation occurred in 2008 when Shabnam was sent for a medical examination after her arrest. The medical examination revealed that Shabnam was 2 months pregnant. In reality, when Shabnam and Salim's love was on cloud 9, they also formed a physical relationship. While in jail, Shabnam gives birth to a son, and for 6 years the son stays in jail. Later, a friend from Shabnam's college days, Saifi, adopts her son. Saifi was studying in the same college where Shabnam was studying. According to Saifi, Shabnam often helped children in college. Once Saifi was also short of money, and his education was at the verge of discontinuation. Knowing that Shabnam always helps everyone, he sought help from her, and Shabnam paid his fees. In gratitude, Saifi adopted Shabnam's son to repay this kindness, and even today, Shabnam's son is being raised by Saifi like his own children. Currently, Shabnam's son is 15 years old. Her son has also appealed to change the death penalty for his mother into a life sentence. It remains to be seen what decision the government and the court make in Shabnam's case in the future. Share your thoughts about this entire video in the comment box, and if you liked the content, please like and share. If you haven't subscribed to the David True Crime channel yet, quickly subscribe for more true stories from the world of crime. Stay connected with us for such real stories. Thank you.